Welcome to the Tennessee Tribune Mayoral Forum. I'm your host, Rodney, and this broadcast is sponsored by the Tennessee Tribune, one of the South's most respected African-American newspapers, and renowned community activist, Mrs. Rosetta Miller Perry, who is our publisher. This is a weekly endeavor to educate, inform, and inspire and empower the people of Nashville to understand the political process, the players, and the role that we all play in the critical issues that are surrounding our area. Knowledge is a potent form of power, and our responsibility is to bring you the knowledge that you need to be able to make good political decisions and empower yourselves socially. But the main thing is we want you to vote. I think that's what we want. For the candidate of your choice, vote and do so responsibly. Now, you need to know your candidates intimately in order to be able to properly support them, no matter which party it is, no matter who that elected or soon to be elected official may be. You need to understand their ideology. And we have decided to do this. We don't mind going out, and we're here today with Mr. Howard Gentry. We're here at his campaign headquarters because we want to make sure that wherever we go and whoever we're with, it's convenient and they're comfortable, as Mr. Gentry seems to be right now. Most of us cannot attend the mayoral forum, and there've been like 40 something so far.
40 plus.
40 plus.
Yeah.
And so we can't get to know our candidates as intimately as we will be able to do today. Now, Howard Gentry is a friend of mine, and so I'm gonna take it easy on him. I mean, I've known Howard for 20 years or more. He's a great fellow, and I'm partial. I'll say I'm partial to him because we've been friends for so long. But we have Mr. Howard Gentry here today, and he's a former city councilman, former vice mayor, and now he serves as the criminal court clerk for Davidson County. He's also one of the one of the most prolific and well-known families in the Nashville area. We're here with him at his headquarters, right above Helen's Hot Chicken.
And I bet you know about Helen's Hot Chicken.
Yeah, man. Howard Gentry,
yes,
my old buddy, man. He's got great hair, doesn't he? Yeah, he's got great hair. Great hair.
Oh, I thought you said
great
hair.
hair.
Yeah.
Man, your hair's so white, it can talk back to the police now.
Okay.
So Howard, tell us who you are. Tell us in 2 minutes or less, because I know you can preach once you get going.
Yes, I can.
Tell us in 2 minutes or less, who is Howard Gentry?
Well, Howard Gentry is a product of Nashville, Tennessee. Howard Gentry was born right here. And be truthful, Howard Gentry and Nashville, Tennessee grew up together. Mm-hmm. We have grown up together. I was born right behind us at Mayoral Hospital, mm-hmm. and my parents worked right down the street at Tennessee State University. And
boy, your mother is a hoot.
Wow, she's 90 years old.
Oh my goodness, she talk more trash than a radio, boy.
But you know, she's a wonderful woman, and as I look out here at Jefferson Street, this was the heartthrob mm-hmm. of the Nashville community, especially the black community. And I mean, you could get anything you wanted on Jefferson Street. You can get your shoes repaired. This was a grocery store here, gas station, any type of retail, restaurants, clubs, whatever you wanted.
You remember all that?
Oh yes. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
I was here during Jefferson Street's heyday.
Oh.
And until that interstate came through and kind of chopped us up.
Okay.
But no, I was a part of this community. I've been a part of this community my entire life. I grew up in North Nashville. Mm. I'm a graduate of Pearl High School, and for those who did grow up in Nashville, I attended Murphy School, which is no longer in existence. I attended Head Elementary, which is still there. Washington Junior High, and Pearl Cone sits on that property.
Okay.
And then Pearl High School, which is now Martin Luther King. So mm-hmm. I had my education in North Nashville. I went to Tennessee State University.
That's amazing.
Got 2 degrees from TSU, and I'm proud of my North Nashville education.
All right.
I left for a while and went to Florida A&M, played football there.
You played football now?
Yeah, I played football.
That's why you got these muscles now, right?
Watch it. I was captain of the Pearl High football team when we were the first black high school to play in the Clinic Bowl, and we won that game in 1969. And playing against Tennessee State, I was injured when I was playing for Florida A&M, and so I ended up coming back home and finishing at TSU.
Okay.
Like I said, I got 2 degrees from TSU, and so I mean, it's just been an amazing life. Never. I mean, you said 2 minutes, but
yeah, you've exceeded that
right,
quite.
maybe
handily.
I'll tell you more about my life as we talk.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna interview you again. This is just the first time. Now, you just talked about your life and your love for North Nashville and how it is that your parents are so firmly rooted here, and so it is that you are. Tell me why you want to be mayor of this town. Come on, Howard. Who wants to be a mayor? Look at all the stuff you're doing. I mean, you've been in a political battle ever since I've known you.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's got to be pretty brutal. Why do you want to be mayor? I mean, just why?
Well, you know, I ran 8 years ago, and we came within 300-400 votes of getting into the runoff, but that's not why I'm running this time. The fact is that I never had a dream of being in politics. All I wanted to do was go to school and play football and coach like my dad, become athletics director at TSU, and have a great career like he had. And ironically and amazingly, I did become athletics director.
Did you?
He stayed 20 years after him, and he got to see it. He died while I was athletics director, but he got to see that, and we had.
So you know your sports. Huh?
Oh yeah. So we got to share that. But the fact is that I asked myself the same question. I asked myself the same question for 8 years, the last 8 years. But the fact is, I look at Nashville, and when I was born here, Nashville was not the same city, and there was a period in my life where I never would have dreamed that I could be councilman at large, vice mayor, criminal court clerk, or either mayor of Nashville. But Nashville and I grew up together. The schools integrated right before I started. So when I was in the first grade, they had just integrated first grade, so they moved to the second grade, and the schools were integrated by year. Well, I followed that, even though I did go to all black schools growing up. The integration was happening, and Nashville was transforming, and life started to change for people of color and people like me. And even though it was happening, as a young kid, I didn't believe that I would ever be able to be all the things that people were telling me I could be. But our teachers, our preachers, our parents, our mentors continued to tell us through that period, continue to get your education, to treat people the way that you want to be treated, and listen to your parents and do the right thing, and you've got to prepare yourself to take your rightful place in society when your time comes. Well, I didn't know what that meant.
So you're saying you want to be mayor because you, at this point in your life, you feel that is your right place, taking your right place in society.
It is
based upon your love for Nashville.
My love for Nashville, but also my experience.
And your experience.
And so there's, the more to the story is that I didn't become athletics director when I graduated. I went into banking. And I spent almost 10 years in banking. I was at Citizens Bank. I helped open the branch down the street.
Were you?
Yes.
Hey man, can you let me hold $5 before we leave?
When it's over.
Okay.
Yeah, but you need to sign a note. But also after that, I actually went to TSU to work, and I was an administrator at the university for 15 years.
Really?
I was the executive director of the TSU Foundation. I was director of development. I was associate vice president for development.
Really?
I was associate vice president for technology and administrative services and athletics director. And then after that, I left TSU and went to Backfield in Motion, which was a nonprofit for inner city youth in East Nashville to get the young men involved in mentoring, academics, and so I was there for about 3 years, and I started running for office. And I ran for criminal court clerk, and I was blessed with Carolyn Tucker and myself being the first African Americans ever elected countywide. Then I ran for vice mayor. And I was the first African American elected vice mayor. And I ran for mayor and missed it, but then I went to the Chamber of Commerce. And I worked at the Chamber of Commerce for 4 years, and I was the CEO of the Chamber Foundation. And what we did at the chamber, which was amazing.
Okay, Howard,
Yes.
we got to move
Quick.
on.
All right.
Yeah, quicker.
Well, at the chamber, we created the poverty initiative here in Nashville. We reduced barriers around poverty and homelessness. We created the literacy.
You were on the
council.
homeless commission too, weren't you?
I was the founding chair of the Homeless Commission.
Right.
I was the founding chair of the Poverty Initiative. I was the chair of Social Services. So my life has just evolved. And so not only have I had experience in the social aspects of this community, but also in the business side. And
Okay.
so now here I am running for mayor.
It just makes sense.
And it just makes sense.
That's
It just
good,
makes sense.
Howard.
You closed me on that.
Now, I had to close you because
Yeah.
if I didn't close you, you would still be open.
You asked the question. Yeah.
This is my friend. I'm gonna pick
Yes,
on it.
yes.
Howard, they say the race is between you and Bill Freeman. How do you feel about that?
No, the race is between me and 6 other people.
Well, they're saying like you two
Well,
are the
I mean,
top two at this point.
Our polls tell us that his poll tells him he's leading. My poll tells me I'm leading, and then there are other polls that say other things. But the fact is, I feel blessed that no matter what the polls say or who's leading and who's it's between, Howard Gentry, me, I'm either in first or second place in all the polls, and we're in a good place, and it's humbling too, because we haven't spent a dime on television yet.
Yeah.
We haven't run a commercial, and so our investment in this community over the last 15, 16 years politically,
Speak
and my
for itself.
investment prior to has paid off.
Okay.
So does that mean I'm going to win the race just outright? No. What that means is that we've done a good job, and now it's time to really move to that next level.
Well,
And we will.
speaking of the next level, what do you think are the top 3 issues the next mayor is going to have to face in Nashville? Top 3.
Top 3, and this is not 1 to 3. This is just top 3.
Top 3,
And
yeah.
one is violent crimes. That I don't know why people are not talking about it. I see people now marching and doing things around that issue, but it just didn't come up in forums until just a few weeks ago when I mentioned it, and one of the news outlets made a joke out of it almost. But violent crimes are happening on almost a daily basis in the nation and sometimes around Nashville.
Well, I think most people, they don't care about violent crimes if it doesn't impact their life in some way or another.
It surely impacts a whole lot of lives of people I know.
Okay,
And,
violent crime.
and education.
Education.
Education is absolutely important, and transportation is important.
Transportation.
Because and a lot falls under that. When you talk about education, we just tend to think about kids going to school. But it's more to it. It's a whole lot more to it. It's about the kids' lives too. We have over 70,000 students in our public school system that live at or below the poverty rate.
Okay.
Now, so it's more than just the school. So when I talk about education, I'm talking about reducing barriers around their families' lives. I'm talking about reducing the percent of poverty in the city, which
Right.
is almost 18%. I'm talking about changing lives and communities so that these kids will have a chance.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Since we're talking about education, because I was going to ask you down further,
Yeah.
what is your position on charter schools? Now, let me give you mine first, because
Okay.
you're going to do most of the talking, but I want to say something.
All right.
I think that charter schools rob the public school system of much needed funding, number one, rob the public school system of much needed resources in the form of teachers and those types of things, and robs the public school system of a proper pedagogy for our children. Now, I believe, now it's just me, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I believe, and maybe I might be a conspiracy theorist, I think that what charter schools are going to do is impact the public school system so much so that it's going to be a feeder system for the 1% private prisons. Now that's
Rodney,
extreme.
that's a lot. Well, let me tell you what I think charter schools are. the discussion of charter schools robs us of the opportunity to discuss what's really important, and that is the kids.
That's right.
And that is the people that we are educating. And we spend way too much time discussing charter schools. Charter schools are a part of our public school system.
Do they share? I mean, if they're so awesome, are they sharing the awesomeness with the public school system?
Well, they're an option. They're a choice. And the fact is that they probably educate, 6,000 to 8,000 of our students, but then you got 85,000 students that go to our schools. So charter schools is just one component. It's one option. You've got magnet schools. You've got so many different opportunities
Right.
in our school system. So what's important to me is not so much of a charter school. It is how to mesh all of these options and all of these choices and provide the proper education opportunity for all kids. Whether they live in North Nashville or East, West, South Nashville, they ought to have the same.
Violent crime needs to be addressed.
Yes.
The educational system
Yes.
needs to be addressed.
Yes.
What's number 3?
And transportation.
Transportation.
There's a
Now
lot
tell me,
more, but
now
you
what's
said
your
it.
solution for that? Everybody is talking about transportation. Everybody says it ought to be regional, it ought to be local, it ought to be this.
Well,
What should it be, Howard?
Well, bottom line is, if you,
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry.
that's okay. If any of the mayoral candidates tell you they have a solution, then you need to watch out, because you know what?
You don't think nobody really has a solution?
Not yet,
Mhm.
not yet. But I think people have ideas and great ideas. I mean, some are talking about having a smarter system and technology. Makes sense. Some are talking about light rail. Some are talking about regional, and that makes sense. And I'm talking about our MTA system. And the fact is that within our city, we have a plan and we have a system that could be so much better if we were able to fund it at the level that it should or needs to be funded.
Well, why aren't we able to fund it? I mean, Nashville, if you look around, there's a lot of building going on. There's a lot of money being spent. Why is the money being spent on transportation?
Well, I guess money is being spent, but the level of funding that needs to be spent to actually give us a chance to see what really our true capacity is has not happened. And so my idea is that we do that. Is that we ramp our public bus system up to a level that it is at least servicing us at its maximum.
Okay. What is your solution for affordable and low-cost housing?
You know, affordable housing has too many definitions for me and too many standards, one thing. Because my daughter that graduated from college as a teacher qualifies for one level of affordable housing. And then others who make less than $20,000 a year qualify for another level of affordable housing. And as we talk about it, we really have to differentiate between the two. You can create an affordable housing program in this city and it won't look any different than anywhere else in the city because people like my daughter and others qualify, and those houses are mixed very well into a community that has $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 homes. But the reality is there's so many people who are below that level.
But what is your solution?
My solution is to have mixed housing and in communities. My solution is to also, and I went a little different on this, and I'm going to stay in that place. I live in Bordeaux. I'm backing up here. I live in Bordeaux. We have affordable housing. I don't know if you've ever been to Bordeaux.
I've been to Bordeaux.
You're one of those Antioch guys. But Antioch does too.
I don't live in Antioch. I live in Brentwood.
Okay, well, yeah. It's affordable, but you better have a good job. But the fact is, even in Brentwood, you can do affordable housing. But in Bordeaux,
You can?
In Bordeaux, you could, you should. In Bordeaux, there's affordable housing. You can live you can live in a $350,000, $400,000 home, and live across the street from somebody who's in a $100,000.
You know, me and
home.
my
It works.
producer were over in that area called, I I think it used to be Sam Levy.
Yeah.
And we did an interview over there yesterday, and we were both so impressed. And so he asked, he said, can I live over here? And the lady was like, yeah. Well, she said that
Could
they
you?
do have,
Okay.
yeah, she said they do have, you know, different, like you
Okay,
just said,
levels.
different levels that one can rent. Okay, affordable housing. Now, let me ask you this one, because we got to move on. All right.
Okay. All right. I'll answer that question later, people. Okay,
I thought
go
you
ahead.
just answered
Well,
it.
I got to.
Okay, we'll
No,
finish.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Where do you see Nashville being by the end of your first term as mayor? What's going to change by the end of your first term?
By the end of
And
the
you'll
first
do
term?
two, right?
Oh,
You'll do
oh,
two.
yeah. By the end of the first term, Nashville will see the community, the people within its city better.
Okay.
Nashville will start seeing the population that has been struggling, that has not had the opportunities. They're going to see a change in that population because we're going to be intentional about not subsidizing, but lowering the barriers and providing opportunities for people who want it and to move out of their circumstances.
Okay.
GED, job training, different types of skill training so that they can come out of those circumstances that they're in. Then you're going to see a city that's going to continue the economic engine.
Okay.
We can't stop the city from prospering because that prosperity provides you with the resources to be able to feed and fuel an effort around those who maybe are not so fortunate.
Okay.
So you'll see a city that's still the it city, but it's going to be a more inclusive it city. It's going to be the it city for everybody.
Oh, that's
Not
the
just
next
some
question.
people.
The next question. When you hear terms like, phrases like, for all of Nashville, now, I was wondering, that sounds like a dog whistle to me. Do you think it's a dog whistle?
You can't hear a dog whistle.
Well, you know,
It's
they
your
can
dog.
hear, but you know, I mean, I'm just saying that, you know, with some people, when you say for all of Nashville, what they're saying is, you know, we're not focusing just on the African American population or the brown population is growing in Nashville. When they say for all of Nashville, you know, it sounds really inclusive to make sure that certain people who are listening for that candidate to reach out to their demographic.
Yeah.
They're hearing something.
No, you know, you have to be specific when you say that. And when I say that city for everyone, I'm saying those who are
Oh, and not you.
fortunate.
I mean, of course
but
I'm not,
saying-
right.
Yeah, but I'm saying
But some people.
I'm not going to be critical
I know
of
you-
the
I know
others,
you.
but you gotta
You're
really
too much of a gentleman to be critical.
you gotta let people know who you're talking about. I mean, for the haves and the have-nots, for the educated and the non-educated. I mean, when you're talking about everybody, when you're talking about the boats rising, you know, I hear people say, well, I want all boats to rise. Well, I want people to be in the boats when they rise.
That's right, Al.
And I don't want them to just be in the boats, but I want them to be equipped to make the journey.
Okay.
So just the boats rising is not enough for me.
Okay.
And so the fact is, when I say for everyone, it's really pointing to those who don't have the opportunities.
Okay, all right.
Because we're going to ensure that those who have the education, the ability, those young professionals and otherwise are going to have the opportunity to continue to grow and be successful
Okay.
in it, because that's what makes the city great. And you really cannot help a struggling population unless they can see success.
All right.
And so you have to
That's
give
good,
them
Alan.
that, you got to give them that vision and something that they can actually reach and touch
Okay.
in their lives.
All
So
right.
the middle class is very important.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's their that's their next step. And so in doing that, it's going to take a lot of work, Rodney Beard.
I know.
It's going to take a mayor that can wrap his arms around all of the
All right.
issues and really move it forward. So the people, the business community, the development community, they don't need to be scared of me because I need them to be successful.
Well, you've been doing this for
Yeah.
so long,
Yeah.
man. I mean, you've
Yeah.
just been a part of this. Okay, next question. the gentrification of Jefferson Street. Jefferson Street is going to go through that gentrification process. There is going to be building, there's going to be development,
Yes.
there's going to be houses, there's going to be tall skinnies, there's going to be condos, there's going to be boutiques, clothing stores, there's going to be ice cream shops, bicycle repair shops, all up and down this street. Now, they just turned down, well, it was, I don't know, why was the police headquarters turned down? I mean, it was very clear. There wasn't going to be a jail. There wasn't going to be a holding cell in there. Why was that turned down? Which, a $25 million project helps to enhance the value of everybody's property around the area. So that was turned down. But it's still not going to stop the gentrification of Jefferson Street. Now, where do you stand on that?
All right, well, first thing, and this is not a smack in the face of any individual, but if my child asks for an ice cream cone for 10 years and I never give them one, I finally, on her 11th birthday, bring them one. If she doesn't seem real excited about that or real happy about that, I gotta understand it's because for the last 10 years I've been saying no.
Okay.
So what you got, that police station could have been the ice cream cone.
Okay.
It could have been possibly a good thing. But our community has had so many no's and such a lack of attention. And now you bring it without a discussion, you bring it without a plan
I know, right?
around the state. This was an opportunity to really have someone be excited about it.
Is it going to come back? Do you think it's going to circle back
It
around?
probably will. Knowing what I know, I'm the criminal court clerk. So what I do know is that the police station's in bad shape. I know the jail's in bad shape. They got to do something.
They got to do something.
And the property where it is, it's going to be so expensive to do it downtown. It probably has to go somewhere else.
No, it's going to go out on Harding.
But if I do bring it back, it will be brought back with a larger project that will be appealing to the community, and the community will be the one that creates it.
My friend, Howard Gentry.
Thank you.
Come to my church whenever he wants to. I'm Rodney Beard. I'm the senior pastor of the Living Word Community Church. We're located at 2304 Hobson Pike in Antioch. Come see us. God bless you.